Hello, welcome to Nerds with Dice, everybody. We are doing our final session of Night, which is a game written by me, currently available on Drive-Thru RPG and soon to be available on Indie Press Revolution. So, Night is a game about chivalric and romantic chivalry, where you play noble or not so noble knights as you go out and save the world of Avalon. So, please welcome my amazing two players here. Let us begin with the incredible Sir Lamorak, played by Percival. Tell us
Hi
about
all.
yourself.
Hi all. I'm Percival, pronouns he, she, they. I will be playing Sir Lamorak tonight. Actually, technically, well, it depends on what time you all are, but for me, it's technically tonight. I am a writer, a reviewer, and a TTRPG player for loads of people, including Nerds with Dice. And I'm really looking forward to what kind of chaos we are going to do in our last session of this game that I've enjoyed so thoroughly.
Nice. And the incredible, the amazing Casper.
Osio, I am Casper the Imby Ghost, and I am playing Sir Tiernan. Um, both of our pronouns are they, he. I guess Tiernan uses any because I tend to forget what their pronouns are anyway. Um, play and produce and write and all things storytelling. So I do a lot of tabletop RPG stuff. Um, and you can find me everywhere at Casper Danby Ghost because that's the only way people understand how to read my name.
Awesome. Well, thank you, amazing people. And let's go over a brief session of what happened. Let's have a brief recap of the entire campaign so far, because this is our last session and we have been building up to it since the beginning. So, to begin with, many years in the past for our characters here, Saturnian and Sir Lamorak, witnessed a strange prophecy deep in the woods where they went to the other world and they rescued a tiny lioness cub, only to find that the tiny lioness cub was in fact revealed to be the person of a very young baby at that point called Kalia Penlu. They rescued the young child from a group of assassins and began adventuring around Avalon as the knights of the realm of Astolat under their liege lady, the Countess Enophan. Since then, we have seen both Sir Lamorak's and Sir Turnian's personal demons revealed on the field, one with Sir Lamorak witnessing the past misdeeds of his family and delivering justice, and Sir Turnian being made to account for his own dishonor and fight his own brother to the death on the battlefield. Since then, I'm going to have another time skip event. Another several years passes, and the young girl Kalia has been growing under your stewardship as you are the two greatest knights of Astolat. Both of you have shared in her upbringing, the one true High Queen, the one that you might be able to teach to be something different, something better, to bring light to Avalon, as opposed to the darkness and misery of what went before. So let us go into the fief phase as we have several years pass and the young girl turns into a young teen. What we're going to do is we're going to have a focus on two main characters for this. And the first one is obviously your relationship with Kalia. And the second one is your relationship with your good friend, King Bycourt the Betrayer, who you have who Sir Lamorak specifically has had a lot of problems with previously. But the first thing that we want to do is we want to have a family affair. So please think of one of your family members who have been getting up to good or no good, as the case may be, and see if we can entangle them in Kalia or your affairs in some way. So let's pick Sir Turnian first. Sir Turnian, tell us about a member of your family and entangle them in some way.
Um,
And
does it have
roll me 2d6 for the
okay?
event.
So my question, does it have to
Hmm.
be a member of like a direct bloodline, or could it be my squire?
It can definitely be a squire. They are a part of your
Okay.
household. Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll my 2d6. I got 2 4s. That's glorious.
2 4s. It is about a weapon. And give me a d6 for luck.
All right. Come on. Let my boy Rowan. Good luck. 6.
Well, 6. Great luck. Now, so tell me a story about Rowan, something to do with great luck and a weapon, and potentially involve Kalia, the High Queen.
Okay. So Rowan, being my squire, and it's been a few years, he's getting more proficient in sword fighting. And uh through if it's cool, I would like him to learn how to smith, like, or how, like, get a sword from Lamorak's family, the household, because I
Hmm.
want the best sword
Hmm.
for my squire. Like, he's earned it. And then because I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for romance. So let's do this. We're gonna make it this. We're gonna do it. So um, Rowan has been like with Kaylee. I've been teaching her how to defend herself. I
Hmm.
am not great in court. She has seen. She can attest. She's like, all
Hmm.
right, you're great, but no, not taking any advice from you. But
Hmm.
you know how to shoot an arrow, and you're really good at tournaments. So, um, t- taking her under my tutelage, she tends to spar with Rowan, and those two have gotten very close over the years.
Rowan would be a bit older than the girl.
I like how
So he
much
would have
though.
started about, well, he would have started about 14 when she was born.
Oh,
So if
okay.
he's about 21 ready to be a knight, whatever, like they can definitely have a connection. It just may not be romantic.
Yeah, no, they're gonna play platonic buddies because I forgot about the
Hmm.
age difference, and we don't want to make it
Hmm.
creepy. So yeah,
Hmm.
he's gonna be
He,
like a
because
big
he's about
brother.
ready to be a knight. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's about ready to be a knight.
he's gonna be the protective older brother who literally she doesn't really listen to, but she's learned how to fight from him. So yeah,
Uh-huh,
there we go.
nice. Now tell me about this specific weapon. So you've got a weapon. The two of them are dueling or fighting. Great luck. What happened? And are you watching them, or is this just training that you have them do individually while you're busy doing other stuff? And then something
Uh,
happens with a weapon, with the same weapon that you had, maybe Lamorak himself, a great smith, personally forged.
yeah, I'm going to say that I'm watching them as, like, because they're it's I don't know how knighthood works, but yeah, the I'm going to say he's got to, like, Rowan's got to prove himself, and Kaylee's proven herself to be a decent um opponent.
Hmm.
That, like, she plays dirty too, so because she's
Hmm.
smaller than him, so it's like, all right.
Hmm.
Um, she goes full Arya Stark on him,
Hmm.
and disarms him. So he's not ready to be a knight yet, but
Yeah.
it is very impressive. And um, she disarms him with a blade that Lamorak would have um definitely forged her.
Ah, nice. I love it. Okay, so thank you for that. I think we've got a little scene there. And now another family affair, this time with Selamorak, your family, your people in some way. Roll me
So like,
2d6 to give you a start.
okay, not good. Unfortunately, it's a 1 and a 3.
Oh, that's not a thing. That's a romance. Romance
Oh,
is the key word there.
Mm.
Okay, now roll me a luck die to see whether how that works.
This one has
oh
to be the
boy,
good one.
please God. Sadly, no, that's a 2.
You need
Dude,
different dice.
terrible romance.
Yeah,
Get
I need.
different
I
Ah.
dice
need.
immediately.
Yep.
So who are you picking with this romance? Who are your family members, and who are now either a romance breaks off or a bad romance begins? Um,
Hmm.
Doesn't like a bad romance.
Thank you.
I'm going to say that uh, Tara has kind of been involved in a messy, kind of gets involved in a messy, toxic one-upmanship uh, with the soon to be High Queen. Now, the High Queen does not know this yet. She just
Mhm.
thinks that Tara's there as a friend and there may be a potential for something more. However, in the last couple of years, Lamorak has been more open and shared his still growing suspicions of the history of the High Queen and about how essentially her and Bycourt are no better than each other. And he wants
You
to
mean the old
trust,
High Queen? Yeah.
yeah, the old High Queen. So
Mhm.
so Tara, like she takes it upon herself to be the diplomat. She doesn't just want to be like the big fighter anymore. So she's the one who brings uh Kylie the sword on behalf of
Aha.
Lamorak, and is currently staying there, and is testing her out, is like
Mhm.
to test her metal, test her personality, like who will she be, and what she can do, and has now entered into this, like she is unwillingly impressed by her, and it has a bit of a crush on her, but also at the
Even though
same.
the girl is younger than Tara. So
Oh, okay, okay,
yeah.
okay.
So remember, we've got different age. So if the girl's now hitting about 13, whereas Tara was a so you can again, same situation. It just may not be romantic in application. So it's a
It's a right, it's a, like, I think she sees Tara as, like, again, it's an older sibling situation, someone that
mhm,
she wants to look up to, especially when it comes to fighting, and like being able to defend, and she's now kind of become a mentor in like different styles of fighting that
mhm,
Turnian can provide. So
mhm.
but at the same time, she's there as a spy, she's there to like test her, see if she's any better than her grandmother.
Is that bad luck turn into the fact that Kalia dislikes Tara because of this brutal mentorship?
Right now, yeah, they have a like, if Tara is bad Mr. Miyagi right now, like
Mhm,
she's very much holding her feet to the fire, and like
mhm,
trying to provoke her into like showing her true colors kind of
mhm.
situation.
Love it. Okay, now here's what I'm going to. So we're going to move on from the family affairs. Several years have passed. So a personal thing is going to happen, and it's going to relate to the High Queen. Um, and well, there we go. So we'll pick on Sir Turnian. So Sir Turnian, you were involved in a battle against. So you were. There is a raid that. Sorry, we have a fire alarm. It's finished. Okay, so uh, probably just an accident or something. Um, so you're involved in a battle against some invading geeks. So they have come to the shores. They have been coming in greater and greater numbers. Almost every year, more of your shorelines have been your coastal villages raided. But more than that, they are not just coming, raiding, stealing stuff and leaving again. No, they are coming and building and settling the lands themselves. Um, and one of them and one of these battles, there is a dragon ship that has crested the coast, and 50 Geet warriors with their great round shields have come in and have begun setting fire to some of the local lands. They are taking people as slaves. They are killing people in killing the people in the fields. And you know the horns have been sent up, and you are the knight who happens to be there with your warriors. And this is a time when you are looking after Kalia. How do you, when you you go when you deal with this battle. So first, how do you deal with this battle? What are you going to show to Kalia about what being a knight is here?
Um, so you're saying they're taking people as slaves,
Mm.
and they're making camps.
Well, generally speaking, they're making games. These particular ones, the ship has landed. They have come in and they're in the process of murdering and taking people as slaves in this village.
Cool. This village has a tree line, does it not?
Hmm.
Cool. We gonna shoot them from the tree line. Uh, but we're is we're focusing. Okay, what I want is to um. Sorry, there is a cat dying in the background, and it's very distracting for me. But what I want is to um. They're in the process of
Just killing
yeah.
everybody. Yeah, they're killing everybody, and anyone who isn't resisting or good workers or pretty women or any of that sort of stuff, they're taking them as slaves.
All right, so my first idea is not going to work. I'm just going to ride. Wait, I'm with Kaylee's with me, so this makes it
Yes,
difficult. Um,
Kaylee and all of your fighting men.
okay, Kaylee and all of my fighting men. I have, I have men. Where did I put them? I'm pretty sure I have an infiltrate and a
I think you had. I think you
archers.
generally had irregulars, so guys with mixed
Yeah,
bows, like ranged weapons and stuff.
yeah. So I've got a bunch of ranged weapon dudes. Um, All right, yeah, we're gonna guerrilla warfare our way into this, like sticking to the tree line and sticking to the rooftops, um, and taking guys out. Mark.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure you heard me because you kind of froze a little bit. Um, yeah. So we're gonna be sticking to the tree lines and sticking to the
I'm
rooftops.
going to.
Internet.
Okay, no worries. So let's see. First, let's see how you fare. I'm having. Um, we seem to be having some. Yep.
Hi.
Are
Yes.
you there? Yep. Oh, we've lost you.
All right. Can you hear me now? I'm just gonna type him a little message. And never mind. There he went. Yeah, tree line's a good call though. I'm not a fighter. I like got you. There he is. Hello.
Hello. I think we're working. This sounds good.
Yay.
Um, Hooray. Okay, we're good now. All right, so just need a bit of a turning it off and turning it back on again. Roll me a check, please, to see how your guerrilla warfare against these guys go. As you try to, there is no bold ride. There is a sneak attack along, in the nearest from the nearest woods to be able to kill these invaders.
I'm gonna
All
say this is a wit check because
right.
I'm playing chess and hope they only play checkers.
Okay, sounds good.
Um, okay. Right. So if I get the same number, that's still a critical, right?
That is, you are good. There is
Sweet.
no
Okay, cool.
consequence.
Yeah, no consequence. Sweet.
Okay. So you succeed. Please describe what. Now, there's as Kalia watches. As Kalia watches your command, and as you and your men are engaging in there, and you unleash your arrows. You get to grips in the middle of the village, and you begin the fight. Eventually you have won. And like most of these fights, it's not that you've killed all of them or anything like that, but they begin to. How do you proceed from here with your captured with your captured geeks or the ones who are attempting to flee back to their ship. You have complete narrative control as Kalia Penlu watches what you do with invaders.
Great. Um, so the ones that I've captured, I will put them in service to the um people of the town that they were basically slaughtering. Um,
Mm-hmm,
like they will get paid. It's indentured servitude,
mm-hmm.
basically.
You
They will
enslave them.
get I'm not gonna enslave them. That sounds terrible. No, they're gonna get paid. But and like they will have to like live with the people that they've were
Mm-hmm.
first,
So you
rampaging.
force them, so they have to work off their debt.
Yes, they have to work off
They
their
work,
debt.
and it will probably
Um,
take several years
yes.
if they can do it at all.
You know what? I know what you're getting at, but I'm sticking to the on paper definition.
Okay,
um,
fine.
um, and then with the ones that are escaping,
You can cut them off if you want to. Do you let them go? It's your choice. Your men are poised.
I am going to cut them off. And hang on, I actually have to think about this because there's a child involved. I really want to make a good impression. So
That's
this
what
is
it's all about.
yeah, this is a lot stressful than I thought it was gonna be.
Kalia,
Okay.
just to provide some banter, Kalia seems to be having a great time. She really wants to get involved in the fight. Um, do you let her engage? She's good. Like she's the best 13-year-old you've ever seen, but she's also only 13.
Yeah, no, she can watch from her horse because her mother will
Hmm.
absolutely kill me. I'm not stupid. I'm a little stupid, but I'm not big stupid.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah. So shit. Okay. I want to show mercy, but I also want there to be a show of force to discourage any future incursions on this land. I don't know how to
Hmm.
word that properly in like actions, but um
How's about this? You cut these, like you succeeded. You cut these guys off before they get back to their ship. And while you are technically outnumbered, you have a horse. Your guys have the superior position, and piecemeal because you're doing it you cut off small bands of them. You kill a few, but the ones who fight back, and the rest you render inert in whatever way, and sort of drag them into the center of the village, right in the village green, and you have them all that have their weapons tied, their hands are tied behind their backs. You hear them muttering to themselves with their that Tyr and Woden um, have not blessed them this day, and you hear several of them challenging you to fight openly, so they may go to the fields of Valhalla and not be killed like so many dogs.
oh, yeah, okay, that makes
That's
it a
that's what
lot
they
easier.
are. Wow, does it? Kalia watches.
Um yeah, okay. As they're all like shouting for their champions and whatever, um I give them this proposal. They send out their strongest warrior, their champion. I will fight him
Hmm.
one on one. When I win, they will never return to these lands again.
So they will return, and they swear, and you force an oath on them. Okay,
Yes.
no worries. You fight a big fella called Sig Trigger. He tells you his name, and he before he gets involved, he's got a huge round shield, and he's got a big, really long-handled axe, and he sort of bashes the wood handle of the axe against the shield. He hasn't got any armor on, although he does have a helmet. Um, and he's a massive beast of a man, and he grins down at you, and he says, "Either I or you will go to Valhalla this day." He says, "Let us champions fight, and as the gods watch." And he's happy. He loves everything. He's having an absolute great time, even as all he gets his weapons and stuff, and then the two of you fight. But even as you're even as you're getting ready, Kalia looks up and just asks you, "You already had him defeated. Why fight him again?"
I know he was defeated. He needs to learn.
And what will that do? Couldn't you just kill him? I mean, then, well, he'll learn if he's dead, she says.
There is no lesson to be learned in death. If he, when he learns, showing, hang on, fighting him this way, showing him his defeat is complete and total. He will go home and teach it to his kin.
She nods thoughtfully. So, you fight. You've already won this encounter. So, you describe how this fight goes.
So homie is coming at me and he's all smiles and giggles. I'm picturing a Thor like 7 foot tall
Mm,
dude just coming at me, and I'm tiny for me.
mm,
I'm a small boy. But I'm like dodging and dipping through. Like I don't draw a weapon. I'm like dipping through his moves, basically becoming his shadow. He's getting frustrated, and it's like this is less fun. He's basically playing
mm-hmm.
whack-a-mole, and he's like, "This is not an honorable fight."
Yep.
Um, he keeps coming at me, and then when he's rightly ticked off, um he and does like a full swing, I disarm him, and knock him to the ground and pin him with his own weapon,
Mm-hmm.
and
Um,
holding his axe to his throat, I asked if he yields.
uh, he does. Um, he says that that fighting you brings no glory, and he yields. At that, they get. He swears an oath. He cuts himself. He swears an oath before Tyr and Woden to never return with he and his farmers, and they get back on their dragon ship. It's like a big wide-bellied dragon proud thing. It's not a Viking longship, um, and they head back to Geatland. And
I keep his
Kalia.
axe.
Mhm. Oh, that stuff would be standard. You keep all their weapons and stuff.
I'm keeping his axe.
That's pretty standard. You keep all their weapons just as a lesson, and the people celebrate you as you have rescued them from slavery and from murder and death. Okay, thank you, Sertanian. Several. So let's roll another one for Salamarak. I'm gonna go 5 and 4. Oh, okay. Um, Salamarak, you what do you when Kalia is under your protection as your ward, because the Countess sends her out regularly to learn from you, sort of as a squire, although she is not officially anyone's squire yet. What do you teach her?
I think Sir Lamorak puts first teaches her the sweat and effort on of smithing itself, and teaches her like to do it herself, to like every process that she goes through, that goes in making a sword. She's shown it, and he takes her through it, like in a very like patient measured way, but make sure that she knows the sheer amount of effort that goes in everything, the shower, the fire, the melting process, the welding process, all of it. She is in every she goes through every department, like
Mm,
it's not just like she's just shadowing him, in to use the modern term. she is she has it's like there are
Hmm.
stages, and she has to do an exam for every department, and at the end, like, okay, this is what you've learned, okay, show me how you're doing it. Like, she has to put in the effort on doing something like to do like the smithing, to do
Hmm.
something with her own hands, to make something by her own hands, to acknowledge the effort and truly value something that she can do, the value the people that she may one day rule, and the amount of work that they do.
Hmm. Um, she asks you a question as a you are showing her the basics of smithing, of crafting, um, of the artisan's path. The and she's almost confused when she sees. She doesn't judge you harshly. She just seems so very confused as to why you would do what you're doing. Um, as you were going about it, and you were putting so much effort into smithing something in particular, a and she has the weapon that you have gifted her. She never lets it leave her side, and when you are a merchant has come to you. He has a bargain for many, many, many things with you. He is an ongoing client, and he purchases weapons and various bits and bobs to give to all of the knights of Avalon, really. And he has come to you, and in the middle of your study, not your study, your smithy, he has told you, and he says, Sir Lamorak, that last bunch of swords and weaponry that you have produced, they were brittle and broke. Many of my customers have complained at their quality. I must insist, he says, that I pay far less for such shoddy workmanship that you have produced for me. Um, what do you want to do from here? As Kalia watches, as this merchant starts getting into you about your ability as a smith, what you know is that you haven't produced any poor quality stuff.
So Lamorak is a diplomat by training, and since he was very young, he was trained in diplomacy and things. But the one thing that everyone who's ever dealt with his family when it comes to getting their weapons, getting things, is you don't fuck with them or question the quality of their work.
Mm-hmm.
You know you are getting the best because everyone has been doing this before they even learn how to fight.
Mm-hmm.
This is We start with this, then we learn how to fight. And
Mm-hmm.
this is Lamorak's passion. This is his greatest passion in life.
So
So
when this merchant starts telling you about shoddy work and insisting on lower prices for any future goods, what do you do?
I think in this case, knowing that Kalia is there, and in any other, he would cut this merchant down, and he would cut him off from any of his goods, to
Mm-hmm.
from his land to buy any of his goods ever again. He would This is something he wants to do badly, because
Mm-hmm.
he knows this person. He's a sneaky guy, and he's tried this nonsense before.
Mm-hmm.
So, but knowing Kalia's there, he swallows his anger a little bit, and kind of very firmly, and just asks him was exactly what were the flaws that his supposed clients. He essentially starts trapping him in his own words, like,
Make
tell
a
me
if it's a
exactly.
if you're trying to trap the guy, in then make a wit roll, please. Wit check, D20, roll equal or under.
Equal, that's a 13, so that's an equal.
Okay, so no consequence. You find out that the merchant was being shifty. He's attempting to drive down prices, not because your work is of any lower consequence. He just wanted to take additional profit for himself. Even as you trap in, and Kalia watches you reason with this guy, and then quickly he basically reveals it himself in as you trick the guy into being just that little bit too emotional about what he's going on about, and then he reveals. Kalia, what are you going to do with this guy who lied to your face? Lied to your face for money, just and which could well have had serious repercussions for you. What do you do with him as he realizes he's been caught in his error? He is in the middle of your castle. You have everything that you need. You have complete power here.
I think Lamorak does what he would do in this situation, and essentially has him ushered out, and
Mm-hmm.
essentially like, and he catches him in the lie and essentially dresses him down fully in front of Kalia. Like, you don't like, he's very firm, but he's not like cruel about it. He doesn't have him beaten up. He just has him like, you are not going to trade with me anymore. Like, send
Mm-hmm.
literally anyone. I will trade with all of your rivals unless you
Mm-hmm.
apologize to me right now. Apologize and promise and take back what you said, or you can get the fuck out.
The guy gets down on his knees and apologizes to you because you have the highest quality goods. He apologizes and begs for your forgiveness. Um, and do you continue to trade with him?
I think that Lamorak negotiates a, a buying price, a definitely much lower buying price from now on. Like, you still want my stuff. You're going to have to lower your damn. You're going to have to like. You're going to have
Hmm.
to pay more. Essentially, you're going to have to pay more now.
After all of that is done, Kalia looks to you with shock, and she says, "Salamarak, why did you not? He lied to your face for nothing more than money, which could have cost people their lives. Why did you not have him killed or executed or publicly shamed?"
Lamorak kind of, quietly takes a second as he's kind of working on polishing the weapons and stuff. This is always kind of very meditative to him,
Hmm.
and he takes a second and to answer. I am not a. That is tyrant's behavior. I am very aware of what my role and how much power I have in this situation. If I wanted, I could have been the cruelest of lords take who would take this slight on my pride as justification to harm someone who, yes, could have, his words could have had consequences, but he is still, he's not me. He's not someone with the power, the title, and the the things that I have and the things that you have. He's still a person.
Fine.
He's still common. He's a common man who is.
But now others will try to lie and cheat and trick you, and know that this man came in, tried this, and got away without any repercussion, or only in money. She says.
I don't want Kalia. Fear is not the way you get people's admiration and their respect. Fear fear is simply just a way for them to be afraid of you until they find their courage, and you realize that you are now a monster that they have to defeat. I am
She thinks She nods. She nods thoughtfully at this. Okay, let's move on from those as your teaching days are done. Um, you are both summoned to the Countess Enophant's court, and in the Countess's court, later on, Kalia is now turning 14, for it is the first day of the year, everyone's birthday. Um, Kalia is now turning 14, and she is to be a squire to someone. At the first court of the year, everyone is going through. So we need to. So it is in the evening. Giant wagons of wood have been brought to the castle. There is a number of dishes before you. The two of you are sitting up at the high table as the countess's most favored knights. Kalia is serving the table, and of course, I need to roll on my feast table. You guys have so you have carrot stew mixed with mixed fruit with spiced mixed fruit is served as you are all enjoying this before the main meat dish is brought. But a great knocking comes on the door, and a messenger appears wearing the livery of Bycourt the Betrayer, that blue shield with the black dagger at the center of it. She comes forward, bows gracefully to the court, and proclaims loudly, hear ye, King Bycourt here thanks the Countess Enophant for raising the child Kalia Penlu, but it is time that she returned to Caemlyn, so that she may learn properly to be the heir of Bycourt. Bycourt thanks you, and the messenger sort of issues behind, and a bunch of servants come out with some chests full of silver and gold and stuff. Thanks you for all of these years of service, great countess. But it is time to bring this young heir back to Bycourt, so that he may train her in true rulership. And with these gifts are thanks for your time. But it was also time for you, Countess, to make the journey yourself and re-swear your bond of fealty. I shall await your word, says the messenger, and sort of retires back to the back end of the council. And the Countess, the old woman, now very old, shaky in her joints, sort of turns to the two of you as Kalia. Sort of her eyes widen. Did anyone tell her about her lineage?
I would have probably done it in like stories. Like there was a once there was a princess Kalia, and like actually tell her history, but make it in kind of like a fairy tale.
Yep. Okay.
I think Sir Lamorak would have promised her that he would give her the unvarnished truth once she had like made a proper weapon of her own for the first time.
The Countess still, she's got the trembles, and you know that her mind, she has been forgetting things recently. And when you first met her and knew her for many years, her mind was as sharp as a tack. She was cold and hard when needed, but generous also at times. But now she forgets things, even names at times, and she turns to the two of you with a sort of a look of distant forgetfulness. And she says, my brave knights, tell me again what has occurred. And what should we do here?
Oh, Lamorak looks at Turnian like, and Lamorak kind of goes, my lady, and he kind of just reminds her gently of, Bycourt the betrayer. He betrayed he betrayed the High Queen, and he has now he now seeks to gain control over Kalia, and his I am sure that this offer of stewardship of adoption to be his heir is nothing more than him trying any such uh, to eliminate to eliminate her more credible claim to the throne.
Yeah, before you say and eliminate her, I'm gonna the Tyrann's gonna be my lady. What is just
Yes,
the
uh,
that's good. Um, Sir Tyrion, Viscount, King Viscount has requested Kalia's presence in in his fiefdom, kingdom, castle. Uh, I and Sir
she,
Lamorak shall escort her there. Like the I'm like my I want to um basically say that we like Lamorak and I will escort Kaylee there to prevent um anything terrible happening to the people here. And I swear on my life and on Rhiannon that nothing will happen to Kaylee. She will return home safely.
the
Lamorak
Countess.
is little more cautious and kind of like whispers to Saturnian, my accom- me coming on this would be a little difficult considering the last time Bycourt and I met it they, he will not be pleased by my presence.
Yeah, that's kind of also that we like Tyrion remembers, and you look on his face is like that's kind of the point. He's
Salamrak nods and is like, "Yep," and uh, and is like, "Okay, good to go." And so at least we are on the same page on this. Good, fantastic.
The Countess sort of nods vaguely, and her wife um, sort of sort of ushers her up and away, leaving the two of you and the Princess Anandri sitting at the table. Kalia is continuing to serve table, but clearly listening. What is your plan from here, knights? As the princess puts her hand, takes your hand and holds it, Sir Turnian, and says, "My good friend, my beloved knight, what will you do with my daughter?"
I will make sure she gets everything she deserves.
But she will be in great danger in Camelin.
She will be under our care, and I and like I'm holding her hands and like staring her in the eyes. This is intense eye contact. She will come home to you. I swear it.
She says, "I trust you." Um, so the feast continues. There are dances and games and various things. But what is your word back to what is your plan here? The two of you have a moment to speak.
Uh,
What will you do with Kalia? Later on in the feast, no one's listening. You've got to tell the message something,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then you've got to.
I take Sir Lamorak, making sure we are absolutely alone. Like Rowan is away. Like my squire
You're
doesn't
you're
isn't here. Are you?
alone as
Can you hear
any
me?
person in medieval times can be alone, in that there's about 30 other people nearby, but none of them are actively listening to you.
Fair
This
enough.
is about as alone as
Um.
you can get, unless you're in the woods somewhere.
So I'm going to lay out a plan in very vague terms, but for Sir Tyrion. But the gist of it is, he is totally going there using Kaylee as a Trojan horse to assassinate Bycourt because he done crossed the line in my eyes.
Sir Lamorak, uh, his eyebrows widen a little bit, but there's like this the light in his eyes and a little growing smirk of like, hell yeah. This is like you're going to need an alibi. You're going to need you're going to need cover to hold the door, as so as to speak. And we also do need to remember, not we need to bring our best. I'm going to take Tara with me, and I would suggest you bring someone who you trust in defending her life to the best, because if we are caught, we need Kalia out of the
Oh,
castle immediately.
yeah, no, I got that. My Rowan will be the one to be like with Kalia. I'm bringing my squire. Quinn is not going to be at this. Quinn is going to be holding down the fiefdom. Who is now my heir because I had to kill Sever. Um, and so yeah, I'm bringing Rowan, who is just like he's almost there. He's almost got it. He just needs one more opportunity. Um, and you're bringing Tara, which is going to be amazing. But yeah, I want to get this. I want
She
to.
will
I want
defend.
to. I want to handle Bycourt. Um, because I am getting old and I do not want this child who I have helped raise to have to deal with it.
That is, oh, and
I
I
think I'm
would
going to call a
need,
couple of scenes.
Copy that.
I would, yeah.
I think I, I think I'm going to call a couple of scenes. The first, Saturnium, is that evening after the feast is finished. You are drawn away by the princess and Andri. She takes your hands and walks you out through the woods, and under the full moon, you see there a one of the druids, wearing now the traditional symbols of Rhiannon, the goddess, her particular flowers, pressed into the wood. And the princess holds your hands, and she says, "For many years now, we have been apart, and it was tonight, this night of all nights, that I wish we could finally be wed. I have organized this good druid to wed us," she says, "and if you are to bring my daughter to Bycourt, I wish to know with all certainty that you love me and love her together and will protect her with everything that you are."
Um, yeah. Okay, so for the first time in his very many years, Sir Tiernan doesn't really have words, but he does because I'm gonna say the flower of Rhiannon is a moonflower, which is a very temperamental flower to
Mhm,
like to grow. Um, he will say
mhm,
he his devotion runs deeper than the like his devotion to Kaylee and her runs deeper than his devotion to Rhiannon. And he's like hands her a bouquet of moonflowers since the druid brought so many. Um,
mhm.
and I don't like I want to give her a token, but literally all I've got is my bow, and I need that to to defend Haley. So
she sees you caught surprised and plants a kiss on your lips. And then there is a short ceremony, as before the moon, and we sort of have that shot of the two of you underneath that underneath the full moon, sort of holding each other. Um, and the druid blesses you in the name of Rhiannon, and you hear the sounds of Rhiannon's birds, the magpies, which unusual to hear them at night. But there they are, crying there, calling in the trees. And the druid leaves you at that point, and the two of you have one night together. And I think at that point we'll fade to black as the two of you are alone in the woods.
Playing checkers.
Blessed by Rhiannon. So Tonian, I think that's your scene. So Selamarai, your sister comes to you. She is tired, haggard. She has children, um, and she is now the new sun. She is now the Knight of the Sun, as both Knight Deirdre and her sister are unfortunately were imprisoned and taken away. And your sister, now a knight equal to you, takes you by the hand, and he says, "My brother, we have for many years been separated. I am," she sighs, "you are a always interested in in the arts of the smithing and following the ways of Grafana, ruling, but you and ruling as you do with honor and justice uh, and caring for those about you. But I see you are lonely. My brother, I think it is time that we found you someone to wed. It is time that we found you children of your own." You're muted.
You are so muted.
First of all, you're muted.
Okay, sorry. Is that better? Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Mhm.
So Lavrak kind of, he looks startled because he spent so long trying to make sure he's had a very adventurous life. He's from his younger days of being the young heir to the age he is now. He has essentially given all of himself to the kingdom, to his family, to his friends, and being reminded that he in fact has not been living for himself has is like almost like someone is speaking to him in a language that he has long forgotten. And he kind of is like, he kind of looks down at his hands and kind of shifts uncomfortably, and I, you know, you are right. I just, I did. You remember how I started? You remember how when I came here first, and all my thoughts were build the house, develop the house, make sure it reaches the glory that my father, your father wanted. And and I don't know, I think after that, after seeing all of my all of my perceptions, all of my plans just fall apart when you realize that I'm trying to live up to someone who didn't never deserved it in the first place, and I'm scared. I I've been trained to
What
do
scares
many
you?
things.
I've never seen you falter.
I am I have been trained to flatter, to please, to cajole, but when it comes down to it, I'm still that wide-eyed, shy, lonely child who preferred hammering at metal than speaking to women, or opening myself up to anyone, not you or Aisha.
Well, my brother, I love you deeply, and you have done so many things for so many people, and no one does things for you. And so I think it is time, past time, that you start bringing that love into children of your own. And I require you, as my brother, to produce me nephews and nieces. Do you understand?
Can't demand that of me. You're demanding now, Tara. You haven't
I
demanded any.
absolutely can.
Hmm.
You haven't demanded anything of
And
me
I
since you
have,
were six.
well, I'm demanding this of you now. It was sweet cakes when I was 6, and it's nephews and nieces now. And I have two willing ladies already prepared for you. And they merely need to, I merely need to summon them, and weddings and wedding bells you will hear, my brother. I know you probably have other missions you wish to do, but there is one Lady Penny and Blackstorm is you have met before. She's a fearsome warrior, but she also seeks to bind and strengthen the kingdom. And the Lady Leona, whose lands are lost in Bycourt's lands, but if regained, you may you may have a strong ally in Knight Byron.
So
Think on
Lamra
these
kind of.
two, she says, and we will pick you a woman. We will pick you a fair wife, who will love you and cherish you as you are deserved.
So Lamra kind of sighs and like just he lets Tara leave the details, the scroll or about these two women, and he kind of thinks to that long ago tournament, one that he has constantly visited in his dreams. And he thinks of the woman, the fierce knight that demanded justice and beat him readily to an inch of his life. And he agonizes her.
Lady
He
Leona
spends,
already threw herself on you, but you rejected her.
and in this, he
When you
he takes
return,
out one. He
when
he
you return
he
from your
he,
mission,
he resolves to send her a message or a letter, uh, if he gets out of this alive.
and Aisha says, and if you do not choose, brother, I will choose for you. Do you understand?
Yes,
I will tie
Tara.
you up and drag you to the marriage altar myself.
Did Aisha put you up to this? This feels like Aisha. This does not feel like you anymore, sister.
True, and I better make and the deed better be done. She says, otherwise I'll watch you myself and make sure it's done. And you don't want that, so you better make sure it's happening.
I just okay,
Um,
impertinent child. Can you please go to sleep? We have a big day tomorrow. Okay, impertinent little sister. And he kind of like chucks something,
okay.
chucks something lightly at her, like go away.
Um, the following morning is a nice warm morning, and Saturnian, you and the princess sort of bid a fond farewell that evening as you are sleeping under probably your cloak or something like that. And the two of you meet up. Who are you bringing with you on your travels? Are you traveling with the messenger or separately? Back to Camelin and Byport.
I was gonna be traveling with Rowan, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
Just
Yeah,
Rowan, just your squire.
um, and like a small group of well trained men. But other than that, no. Like I wanted to
Yep,
be. I was
just
just
you
gonna
guys.
be.
Yep, yeah,
Yeah,
you Mesney.
yeah, just keeping it like small, because we don't want to draw too much attention to Kaylee, because she is precious cargo.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. So she's riding along with you. So Lamarak, are you bringing in anyone particular? So you're bringing Tara along. You're bringing your Mesni, your warriors,
Yeah,
as
he.
well. So a group of about 30 odd people travel off to
Yeah.
yeah.
Lamorak, he's
A group
traveling
of
with
about 30
Tara.
odd people travel off to Camelin. Oh,
Yeah. Lamrak is traveling with Tara, but
mhm,
he has sent, but on the insistence of Duke, who like has grown into a young knight himself and has proven himself capable, has insisted to stay with the messenger and see and essentially be like keeping an eye on the messenger and see if he can get anything out of her, or is there any nasty surprises that might be coming their way.
mhm, mhm. Um, the messenger, you talk with the messenger on your travels. It takes several days to get to Camelin, and you are traveling through over muddy roads, through ancient woods, past the houses and manors of many knights, through Astalat, which is quite well maintained, but there's this sort of feeling um, of aging, but also anticipation. There are, but as you travel in and past the border, the marker stones to say that you're within Ceridon itself, there's a strange feeling of difference on the air. Eyes watching each other as you pass. Window shutters opening and closing as the peasants look at you. Even the animals in the woods seem to stalk you along the edges, and prey disappears the moment that you go anywhere near it. Now, in time, in time, you travel to Ceridon itself. It is a great town, the greatest in all of Avalon. Several thousand people live there, and on a hill nearby is the great white-walled keep that is Ceridon Keep itself. It is the greatest defensive fortification in the land. There are great walls all around the outside of it, and travelers, merchants to and fro everywhere you look. And as you go through, the stink of Ceridon and its medieval city hits your nose stronger than you. You have probably visited this city before. It is the place where the most merchants and travelers and knowledge can be found. The great churches of the faithful can be found here as well. And as you travel through the city, people are staring at you, but you are led up to the castle, met by court's men. You are guided up to the main castle and announced as the great wall doors are opened. Your horses and so on are taken and stabled, and you are issued in to wait for the king in the throne room. The throne room, and as you go through, there are heavy stone pillars holding up the vaulted roof of this throne room. There is a single chair up the top, up on a small dais, and below there are no chairs or anything anywhere else. Everyone else stands. And this is the place where the High Queen used to dispense her justice and to see all of Avalon. And you see great maps and broken weapons and broken shields. The destroyed enemies of the old High Queen still hang upon the walls here. But there is this feeling that nothing has changed. In the 13 years since High Queen died, it seems like no one has refurbished, no one has done anything. They are living in the remains of yesteryear. And sitting on the throne itself is the figure, not a particularly tall man, dark of eye and graying silver of hair, wrinkled around crow's feet. He's not wearing a crown, but you recognize him. He has many rings. He is wearing a beautiful silk doublet. And as you and yours enter, um, He simply nods. How do you? There are his fighting men and knights everywhere. This is not a feast hall. This is a throne room. Um, so there are his knights standing behind the throne. You see his king's guard have their weapons unsheathed, standing behind. Um, Between you here is Kalia. The king nods and says, "I bid you welcome to Ceridon, knights." And he smiles at Kalia and he says, "Niece." Kalia automatically starts to bow back. What do you guys do? Also, I'm
Begrudgingly.
hearing a strange noise. Yeah. Hmm.
Hmm?
Begrudgingly?
Yeah,
Oh, nothing.
begrudgingly.
Begrudgingly, what do you do?
Begrudgingly, I am going to follow Kaylee's lead and bow to this man.
Lamrak also
Mm-hmm.
does this, and and like two besties who are just like, God, why this God, I can't wait to kill him so bad. We both lock eyes for like half a second and we bow together.
Look, it's not even like a proper bow. It's more like a head nod, and like I put my foot back like a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
like
Very
I
short and stiff.
acknowledge.
Like Lamrak is like
Mm-hmm.
the minimum, like he's calculated in his head what is the minimum amount my head can bow, and what is the minimum like my foot has to go back. That's about it. Like very precise amount of disrespect.
Yep. Yep. Um, Bycourt clearly notices your impropriety and your lack of respect for his position. Um, but he doesn't say anything. He simply holds his hand out to Kalia and says, "Come, child. It is time that your training begins." Um, he, uh, he waves over to the wings, so to speak, and a young boy comes out. He says, "This is my son, Bycourt the Second. Um, and he will be your husband." The boy's probably 6. What do you guys do from here? As Kalia is still standing there and like looks over and she's like,
Um, how to do this politely? I want to what do I want to do? I want to cut in and be like, that's not what we came here for. That is not why we. That's not how we understand the what the summons was. Um, and that uh for anything like this to um occur, uh, it's gotta. We don't want this to seem improper, so we would have to like discuss it with the head of household, which I'm thinking in my head is the countess because she's been Kaylee's guardian forever. So
mm-hmm,
yeah.
Your
mm-hmm.
Majesty, I
By
would
court.
I would we are here. This is just the beginning of what I'm sure will be a very will be a very a message of peace and true bonding between you and Kaylee and the families. uh, I would uh, I would remind you of the customs of our kingdom, in which all discussions of marriage, and I'm sure we can have this discussion with her mother and the countess herself. I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would pay them the proper respect as you would from uh, two people, from someone who wants to join your families together, of course. allow your son to
All of
allow
the
your
correct traditions will be all of the correct traditions will be, of course, Darth. But there is a second matter to which I have summoned, and I see she is not here. The Countess of Astolat. I have summoned her to kneel before me and acclaim me as her overlord, and yet she is not here. Are you here to swear her allegiance for her? Because I understand she is aged and infirm now.
How old is Bycourt? How old is Bycourt looking? Just so I can clearly picture him.
Bicor looks like he's in his 50s.
Okay. Okay. Is like a fit 50 or like
He's a fit 50.
okay. Okay. Fair. Okay.
He's
Uh
okay. He looks like a fella in his 50s who probably when he was in his 20s and 30s was a physically fit guy, and now he's been sitting around doing a lot of leadership and so on, and so he's clearly got a little bit of pudge around the middle.
we
Robert
are merely
Baratheon. Got it.
we are we are servants and soldiers to the countess, mere soldiers, your majesty. uh,
We do not
we
speak for
we
the countess. We
we
are
don't dare.
we are here to accompany uh young Kaylee on her journey here as
Mm,
it is
of course.
long.
Kaylee, child, he says, of course. Kaylee, child, he says to Kaylee, what I wish you to do, I have here an aunt of yours. There's a lady dressed in a fine dress. Go with her and find your new chambers, please, and I will address these two separately on a different matter. Kalia looks to the two of you for a moment. She says, "I, if this is what you wish, then good nights. I bid you farewell for now."
Um Rowan is going to move to like follow Kaylee because that's what he's been told to do. I told him to follow her like a freaking shadow. I also told Kaylee this.
One of the As Rowan does that and starts following, you see the governess look to the king, um, and one of the king, the half guard of the king, um, move to begin sort of to hoik his sword up just a little bit, and then the king holds up his hand and simply nods, and they continue, and Rowan leaves. Then it is just the two of you and the king and about half a dozen heavily armored knights. You are here with your swords, of course. And the king says, if the countess has not sent me to do so, then I shall teach her that she may not ignore my wishes. Surrender your swords, knights, and you will not be harmed. I shall place you in the dungeons until the countess is fit to swear vassalage herself. The guys behind the king immediately start moving out. The king didn't even bat an eyelid. It clearly looks like he was ready for this. And that one, he says, pointing to you, Lamarak, make sure that his fingers and hands are all broken. I will send him back to the countess without hands. What do you guys do?
Well, um, since they started it, um, I'm going to defend myself. Um, yeah, I'm pulling out my bow and taking a defensive position. I Yep.
What do you do,
uh,
Lamarak?
Lamorak is going to hear that part of like, oh, okay, okay. And he sharply calls to Tara and says, now. And Tara kind of, Tara had, as she was coming in, has been like spreading lighting powder around them, been encircling them in the bed as subtly as she
Hmm.
could, and she lights a fire and she surrounds them with fire. And he
Sexy.
kind of very calmly takes out he takes out his
Um,
axe
I think
and
as the
Oh
nice.
yeah, he's got
I
an
think
axe.
let's take our break. Let's take our break at this point, and if let's take our little break. So, Sophia, I summon thee to give us a welcome back. So, where last we left off, six heavily armored knights and King Bycourt were before you. Bycourt had just ordered you to the knight to take you into custody and to take off Percival's hands. They had taken Kalia away, and your squire Sir Turnan had
No,
and your squire Sir
Lamarax
Turnan
has, but
had gone with her.
Yeah.
Okay, so
little slip of tongue there, Mark.
at this, sorry, little slip up.
Lamarck's hands, not
Sir
Percival's
Lamarac's hands, I should say.
hands.
Not Percival's. No, no. The knights move out. They have got their heavy armor on, the finest of armor. They've got the big shields, and you see them start to move off the dais towards you. They are moving at a steady clip and drawing their weapons as they come forth. Heavy blades, well used to war. What do you do? You have drawn your bow, Sir Turnian, and Waltara has thrown out your flash powder, Sir Lamarak. What is your first action here, Sir Turnian? What is your action?
I'm going to aim an arrow at Bycourt because I don't mess around.
Okay, so I'm going to put Bycourt as a 20, and I am 20. I'm going to put the King's Guards also out of 20. So you have a lot of numbers to deal with. All right, so let's see how we go. And what is your action, Sir Lamrak?
So, okay, I'm gonna. Is the child still in the room?
Nope, she's
No,
gone.
she was taken out.
Okay. Even Bycourt's son, right? He's also gone.
Bycourt's son has been taken out, yes. So Bycourt's son, Kalia, Rowan, and a governess were told to leave the room before any of this happened.
Okay. Okay. Lamarak is he has taken out his sword, but he has not raised it just yet. And he's like, what is the meaning of this, Your Majesty? We have come here in good faith and expectation of hospitality, of a decent hospitality, of a honorable king. We,
Bycourt,
if you have any grievances, please bring it to the Duchess. Please, we are merely soldiers.
Bycourt simply barks out a laugh. He says, "There is no honorable king. There is no other way. This will cement my rule. Your Kalia will wed my son, and Avalon will be unified. And you, Lamarak, I will see you handless and footless, begging in the street. Kill them!" All right. At that, we're beginning. So now we make some rolls. So checks as these guys come at you. So first a check and then an effect die. So Sir Turnian, by the way, you all have the trait touched by the lioness. So anytime you're acting on Kaylee's behalf and doing
Yes.
stuff with them, you're going to get a boost to your die. So so with that in mind,
Fantastic.
so you're trying to talk down. You're trying to talk down Bycourt, Lamarak. So I'll give you a D4 for that, plus a die for a D for the touch by Linus for a D6. And Saturnian, loosing an arrow against a bunch of heavily. You see several of them like moving in to protect the king with shields to go through. So again, up to a D6 on that one. So if there's anything else, you guys let me know. So roll a check to see whether you get any consequences, and roll your effect die of a D6.
I will say mine would be a D8 because I am using Rhiannon's gift, and it is nighttime.
Ah, yes. Okay. Done.
So I have the D4 from being touched by the lion thing. Being touched by the lioness, I have that as a
Mm-hmm.
boost, and I am using my axe. So I think I'm going to go. So I think I'm going to upgrade from a D4 to a D6 on that one. Sorry, D6 to a D8 on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
All right. Now tell
okay,
me
so
whether
I
you
roll
get a
two dice,
consequence and
right?
what your effect die is, please. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
D20
so
for the
yeah,
check.
I
You're
do get
rolling
a
equal or under
consequence.
your attribute. Okay.
I'm shooting with prowess, and I do get a consequence, but I also do
What's your effect
7
die?
points of damage, or whatever my
Oof.
effect is. So a 7.
Nice.
Aha!
Mm-hmm. So
I do get a consequence
that
though.
brings
Okay,
Blackwood down to
Mark,
13.
I'm sorry. Like,
Um, and
uh, sorry, Mark. I had like, okay, I'm a little bit. I'm trying not. I'm trying to remember. Okay, so I have to first roll the D20 for the consequence or not, right?
Yes.
mhm. Yep, that's right.
That's I am rolling against prowess, which 11. So I got an 11. So no consequence on that one.
All right. And how'd you
And
go on your effect die?
then I'm rolling the okay. Effect die is my 2D is my D8, right?
Yeah.
So over is your so with your flash, with your fire flash and everything, is this you trying to hold back the guard for a round, or is this you talking down by court? Like what's your goal here? Or with the
Um,
axe or
he
whatever, like
said
what are
this
you going
out
to be
loud.
acting on?
Um, well, right now he said this, but he said this in just like to make sure that okay, you want to do this. I am giving you a chance. You've not taken that chance, and you want to come
Mm-hmm.
after me. Okay, now he's when he
Mm-hmm.
did that flash, that was his warning, and when
Mm-hmm.
Tara is going, she has more flash powder. She's now going to straight up trying to now set them all on fire
Okay, so you're
So
acting on the
and
king's guards. All right,
blind
roll your
them,
effect
distract
die.
them, create chaos, create chaos essentially. That's come on.
it's been nice.
Uh, uh, hmm, Not fantastic. That's a 4.
That's all right. Okay, so bring the king's guards down to a 16. Bycourt's on a 13. We have one consequence. So I think we're going to narrate the situation like this. The King's Guards basically charge forward, their swords ready to cut you down in just an overwhelming, wall. There's King's Guard before the king with his shield, with his big, heavy, long teardrop shield out to protect the king from arrows. And it's the shot takes this guard like right in the face and drops him down. The king is there drawing his black sword. In this process, then the flash goes up, and all of the rest of the king's guards like stagger back just a little bit, except one who's on the very edge of it, and his sort of barreling charge comes forward and knocks you down. Turn just basically knocks you down on your back, and Rhiannon's gift gets scattered off to the side. As you basically go down under a heap of metal as this guy charges you. All right, next round. What is your plan from here? We have Salamarak. What's your intention from this situation? You see, Saturnian is down on his back. There's a knight on top of him. Rhiannon's gift, the bow, has been scattered. One of the guards is laying is like screaming, on the ground, unable to move. You right through the eye socket. Okay, so Lamra, what do you do from here?
Um, he looks at Turnian like getting knocked down and and like considers go or trying to get the knight off him, But then when he sees the bow, he's like, no, that's more important. Once Tiernan has that, he can handle this himself. So he's going to have essentially fight his way to the bow and push it to Tiernan.
Okay. And Saturnian, what's your plan here?
Since I don't have Rhiannon's gift anymore, I still have Rhiannon's tears, which are just my fancy ass arrows. So I'm gonna take one of those and
Hmm.
and stab the dude who's on top of me.
Hmm. All right. So both of you need a check, and both of you need some effect die. You're both acting against the king's guards, and then by call will act. Okay. So both of you make a check depending on whatever attribute you think that you're in. This guy's literally just like bearing down on you, trying to crush you down. He's got his sword out, which is bad for a sort of close combat, but he's trying to press it down into your face, Saturnian.
I got so lucky. So vigor is my lowest stat. I
Mm-hmm.
got no consequence.
Woohoo! And what's your effect die as well?
Oh yeah, that one
So
is still
the
going to
you'd shot
be
you'd
a
shot the
D.
first arrow, you'd grab the second arrow, he took you down, and then you had the arrow in your hand to be able to do it. Arrows are terrible hand-to-hand weapons, but
Yeah,
it's what you got.
A. It's not like I carry a dagger with me. I am an archer. But since it's my second fine weapon, it's still going to be a D8. It's also still nighttime. So I am blessed by
Mm-hmm.
Rhiannon, and I am doing this by the touch of the lioness. So yeah, I'm gonna say this
Yep.
one's a D8 because arrows suck. They are
All
meant
right.
for
Go
flying
with it.
and not daggers.
Yep.
Uh,
My
I
effect die. Sorry, yeah, my effect die is going to be a 7. I'm very consistent with my sevens.
7. Nice. Brings the
Yeah.
Kings goes down to a 9. And Salamarak, how did you go?
Um, so Lamorak is now hacking his way through the soldiers who like want to go square up to him, and is protecting the
Mm-hmm.
bow, uh, kicking it as close as he can towards his bestie. And I rolled. And thank God the good rolls are coming in. Touch wood. I rolled an 8 on the d20, which is under, and I rolled an 8
Woof.
on my effect die, which is still a d8 because I am fighting with my trusty axe. So
Oh, they have
yeah.
one left. Beautiful. So I think this is what
Excellent.
happens. So Tony, we get this like really close, like this guy's like pressing his sword down into your throat, trying to like cut across the throat, and you jam this arrow right in his eye, and force it through, and he screams and turns back just as you get up, and we see this shot of Lamrak, like chopping down two guys who get knocked down with the power of this this double-headed axe. And Lamrak, you kick the bow to Saturnian. Just as Bycourt comes up behind you, Sir Lamarak. He had not been dealt with this round, so he still gets his action. And so, Sir Lamarak, you see him now. He is not. He's got his sword in hand, but he's got the black dagger, the same one that he killed the old High Queen with. And you see him come up, and he just gets. He lunges. He tries to grab you and like thrust up underneath your ribs through the chainmail. But it's a glancing blow. It does 2 endurance to you, and he now has you by the shoulder, and he's like stabbing underneath with the dagger. He has dropped his sword, at least for the time being. The king's guards are in disarray. They have 1 point left. There's only like you have knocked them down. Several of them are dead. 3 of them are screaming in pain. What's your action now? Okay,
I'm
let's.
going to pick. Yeah, I'm gonna pick up Rhiannon's gift. I'm going to
Mm-hmm,
take the arrow out of Homeboy's eye, so he's just sitting there, and I'm going to aim it
mm-hmm,
at. I'm gonna like use it to get by court. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
hopefully that works.
Nice.
and not hit Lamorak. Oh, thank God. Okay. But and my
What
effect
do we got?
die.
Any consequence? I love a good consequence.
No, I don't have a consequence because I rolled prowess and I got
I
a
forgot to do
2.
endurance damage to you before. Sorry. Nice. That's okay.
Yeah,
Prowess is
give me
good.
endurance.
What was your
Give me,
effect
give
die?
me. My effect
Oh, the
die.
endurance. When the guy took you down, it did endurance damage and it did 5. So that was for the previous round. I
Oh,
forgot to roll the die against you.
joy.
So you've taken 5 endurance.
That's okay. I will make a note of that. I'm down to 5. So for my effect die, I am using Rhiannon's gift, Rhiannon's tears. Can this be an effect die of 10? Because it's 2 fine weapons. It's at night.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
You're acting
And
on
all the
Kalia's
other
behalf,
blessings that I
and
got
the
on
King's Guards.
Yeah.
The King's Guards are in disarray, so they're no longer protecting the king.
Yeah. Okay. So my effect die, I got a 9, which should help. Lemrak, I set
Nice.
him up.
This is
Get
on
him.
my court. No worries.
Yeah.
All right,
I
Lamarak, let's
shot him
go.
with an
Roll
arrow.
me. So what are you doing? Bycourt has stabbed you with the black dagger. What do you do?
So Lamorak feels such fury that he has not felt since his very younger days of trying to prove himself, and with all of that anger removes the black dagger from him and from himself, and throws, and he doesn't throw it away. He keeps it on himself, and he looks at Bycourt and is like, this is mine now, and and goes after him with a renewed fury with his axe, using like
Nice. Give
because
me a
he's not
check.
just now
Give me the
fighting on.
D20 check and.
Be good. Yes, that's a 4, baby. That's a freaking 4. I'm so happy right now. Okay.
No
Okay,
consequence.
because I'm
Oh.
fighting on behalf of Kelly. I'm so happy right now. Okay, I'm going to roll for the effect die, and I'm going to add the D4 from touch, just because big boss, baby. That is Jesus. Yeah, this is good that I added, because otherwise this could have been really disastrous. This could I got a 3 on the D4 and a 1 on the D8. So that's not
Oh, you normally only
amazing.
roll 1 dice, so but that's fine. So 4, that's enough to reduce
Oh,
Bycourt to
sorry,
0.
sorry.
And the King's Guards are still. No, that's fine. It's fine. It reduces Bycourt to 0, so he is dealt with. So this is our. But the one-eyed member of the King's Guard is still there, and even as you're taking that shot, Saturnian, he gets up and comes and tries to stab you with his big, heavy sword. So because you're in that perfect archer's shot, he has that availability, and I just roll 8 on my dice. So Saturnian, Casper. Saturnian, I just rolled an 8 as the guy that you
Yes.
stabbed in the eye screams and chops you down. Even as your arrow flies and stabs and hits Bycourt in the chest, and Lamarak gets that black dagger in and takes him down. Now roll me a d6 to see how well you fare, Saturnian. Low. This is just a luck die.
Okay.
6 is you're okay.
I am going to roll my death die because I feel it's appropriate for this.
Yep.
Don't suck, buddy. I would like to live. 3 Not great.
Um,
Ye-
so what permanent damage has been done to you as you crumple
I
underneath
think
this
when
guy's attack? Um,
yeah, I think when he got me that he hit some nerve in my spine that'll make it very hard for me to ever draw a bow again.
oh, okay. And you've
Not
got like a
nice.
permanent muscle weakness on an arm or something. No, it's not. It's terrible. You'll bear that for
Yeah.
the rest of your life. Okay. However, your arrow pins Bycourt, even as Lamorak drives in the black dagger on the other side. There is only one guard remaining, Lamorak. He is one-eyed. The arrow still sticking out of his eye. He has just chopped down Turnian and he faces you. He screams wordlessly as he begins, he's like staggers towards you, his sword held high. What do you do?
Hmm. As he sees Saturnian go down, uh, he he kind of hmm. Now Lamorak had in fact brought some charms, some magic with him just in case because
Mhm,
Aisha had insisted in this dangerous mission. And in
mhm.
front of all of these buggers, he takes out a talisman, a cursed talisman, and kind of holds it up in front of the soldier and curses him to the same pain that he has dealt Saturnian.
Ooh, okay. Make yourself a
I should.
check to see whether there's a consequence as your magic takes effect, and an effect die, please.
Oh, today!
So
Oh,
basic
I'm so
effect die,
glad. My
miss.
dice is so
It
nice.
doesn't
A
matter. He's only got
six.
one left. No
Okay.
consequence. Damn. All right.
I
So
rolled a six.
you rolled a 6. Okay.
Uh,
Uh, he only had one activity number left. So you curse him, and you see the magic begin to take effect as and he like grabs in himself and starts choking and falling to the ground. You have won and defeated King Bycourt, but you remain still in Bycourt's castle. Saturnian has been stabbed through and is groaning on the ground. What do you do? Talia is at this point, however, the door bursts open. You see Rowan, Talia just behind him. Both of them, Rowan, both of them covered in blood as they burst back up into the throne room. You and the two of and grabbing you, Saturnian, you all begin to retreat out of the castle. If that is your plan, that's Rowan's plan anyway. What do you want to do? You can all talk.
Yeah, no, I gave Rowan instructions to get Kalia home. If he wants to drag my busted body along, that would be fantastic. I would love to live. So I would like a hasty retreat. Lamrak,
Mhm.
you do you,
uh,
buddy.
so Lamorak
All right.
is going to be like Rowan. You first deal with Saturnian as he and so Lamorak is going to hand his axe over to Kalia and is like, you have
She
proven
has the
yourself
sword that
to
you
be
gave her.
worthier than your mother. Yeah. So he's going to ask her, you have proven yourself worthy of the name. We will never You will never reach your true destiny, and you will never be safe as long as he is alive. I leave the decision up to you.
Um,
She is 14 years
thinking
old.
back,
I object
she's
in the
14.
strongest of terms.
Thinking back to Saturnian and Sir Lamorak's education, what do you guys think she would do? Saturnian, you showed mercy, but also defeated your enemy soundly. And Sir Percival, you did things intelligently without causing unnecessary harm. What do you guys think she would do? Bycourt groans on the ground, spitting his fury.
If she follows Tiernan's example, she would publicly humiliate him, like not publicly humiliate, but publicly address him as an unfit ruler and claim her rightful place on the throne.
Okay, and Sir Lamorak, what do you think she would do?
I think that she would.
Or perhaps you
She
agree?
would
Maybe
take.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Lamorak would agree, but but he would also like he would she would drag him back to the countess's lands and make an example of him on those lands, out of his home territory, and and strip him of his title and be crowned in her home specifically rather than this place.
Okay. So at this point, and what do you guys think? Of those two options, what's most likely?
I believe we should roll for it.
All right. Who wants to make that roll? D6 roll. 1, 2, 3 is Turnian. 4, 5, 6 is Lamorak.
You want to make it?
Yeah, let's go for it.
What do you got?
What'd you get?
I got a 5.
Oh, well, I got a 4. So you win.
Okay. Oh, well. That's all right. Kalia, taking your advice, you quickly bind Bycourt's wounds. And you get him out of the castle. You have to fight a few people on the way, but it's almost like they weren't expecting this in any way. There are knights that you need to get past, but getting into the stables, you just push your way past a few people, get on your horses, and ride the hell away. The Bycourt, you strip him of his. You strip him of his wealthy, garb. You put him in a servant's outfit, and it's almost like no one recognizes him whatsoever. I think what we're going to do now is have our epilogue for the game. So you ride back in victory, wounded perhaps terribly in the case of Saturnian, back to the lands of Astolat. And when Bycourt is, with Bycourt killed, his charisma no longer unifies those knights, and they quickly begin a civil war in the county of Cerridon, fighting amongst themselves, leaving Astolat alone for the time being. And with him under your control, by the age of 14, she, given the mighty sword by Sir Lamorak, the young girl of 14 years old is claimed, is crowned High Queen, both by the old gods and by the faith in Astolat, which she claims as her new kingdom. And there are many more adventures for many more knights in Avalon, but for the time being, this is the end of our adventure and the end of the adventures of Saturnian and Sir Lamorak. Now, but there is one last thing. Because while we imagine those pages closing for the moment, there is one last thing that happens. Everyone, both of you guys will gain another 10 points of glory as you are there. You are named as the first Knights of the Lioness of the great High Queen of all Avalon. But many centuries later, in the court of a monarch, bards tell of your stories. What is your glory overall? Because every 10 points of glory that you have one story that is told by bards, your legend that is told by bards later on. This is called your chanson. Everything else that happened in your life is forgotten. So if you have 20 glory, that's 2 stories that you may tell that are told forever and are never forgotten. But everything else is forgotten. So what is your glory? And that'll tell you how many stories you've got.
I
You
got
guys know what you-
27.
27. So 3, we round
I
out.
got
3
26.
stories told about 3. Both of you have 3 stories told
Yay.
about told about their characters that go through legend and myth and eventually survive into modern times. So what are they? What are our 3 stories of Saturnian and Sir Lamorak? Things that they have done, and this could be like flat out people like expand it in the telling, like it was actually a tiny thing, but then it became huge. These don't have to be true things, but these are the things told about Saturnian. So just like Sir Lancelot's stories or Sir Galahad or any of those guys.
I believe one of them would definitely be the story of Sir Tyrion. Sir Tyrion. I forgot. I
Saturnian?
could not. Yeah, thank you. And the tournaments of love and beauty, how he won the heart of Princess Anandre,
Mm-hmm.
and like very like romanticized that story, of like how they met at like they first met at like the beginning of the tournament and fell in love, and it made like this huge like it was a big
Yep.
thing.
And there was someone else that was supposed to marry her, and you had to fight him in this
Yeah.
dreadful night. Yeah. Did the fact that Sir Siva was your brother actually survive, or was Sir Siva just like the
No,
villain
he
who
was
was like
just
a
the
bad
bad
guy who was going
guy.
to marry Princess Anandri? Yeah. Yeah. I
No,
love
I
that.
think no.
How about you, Sir
I
Lamorak? So that's your. Oh,
I do think that he was my brother, but I think he was the favored brother. Like he was like she favored him at first,
yeah.
but then I had to prove he was a bad guy kind of thing.
Oh, yep. I love that. Sir Lamorak, what's the first of your stories that survives about Sir Lamorak?
I think the first of the stories that survived um, was a story of was a story of foolishness that developed into the ultimate act of sacrifice and bravery when he struck down his own father for committing an unforgivable crime.
Mm-hmm. Fair. Okay. Back to Saturnian. What's the second of the 3 stories told of Saturnian? The three tales of Saturnian.
Uh the third the second story is of um how Sir Tyr for some reason my brain can't comprehend how to play my like how to
Saturnian?
say my own character's name. Um bested the Vikings and saved the land from those people, and they, like it drove the Vikings from this land so they were never heard from again.
Nice. I love that. And what of the second tale of Sir Lamorak?
I think the second story of Sir Lamorak would be I think this would be a slightly hyperbolic story of his uh, of being kind of like the wise knight courtier to a long forgotten queen whose name has been mangled and changed beyond all recognition, and how this one night in his sort of in his as he is grown wiser, he teaches the queen be on being a good ruler, on being a wise ruler, and uh, that is a pivotal moment in both their stories.
So in the story of Queen Kalia, you are her main
I
mentor. Is that right?
I am her
Nice. Sort
Obi-Wan.
of like Merlin to Arthur.
Okay, cool.
Nice. All right, the third
Sure,
tale of
just claim
Sertanian.
that. Fine, whatever. Yeah, the final tale of Sir Tyrion is he beat Lord Bicor and Grant. He saved the kingdom, um,
Okay.
and for the Queen Kaylee.
Hmm.
It was his
And
arrow that defeated the great the great betrayer.
I got the Great Betrayer. Nice. And are you gonna and the final tale of Sir Lamorak? Are you gonna join in on that tale? Is that like a bros do it together, or is it gonna
Um,
be something else that is
I would,
remembered about Lamorak? And the fact that he was there
I
doing
think,
that is forgotten.
yeah, I think that in a very strange twist of events to someone who started out wanting to bring glory to his family's name, the story that is adapted into many a movie. It's a story of a man who is
Hmm.
enchanted by a woman in a mysterious hell in a mysterious armor who beats him roundly, and many years later, after years of adventure and growing wise, they meet once again and throw down a gauntlet of love,
Hmm.
saying, "Whoever wins, whoever wins
I
has to
love
marry
this.
the other."
Whoever wins
I
this
ship it
fight.
so hard. I love this.
Nice. I love it. I love it.
Spend the rest of their days
So,
in peace
uh,
and love.
oh, I love it. I love it. And I think the last thing, of course, is that Saturnian, you have heirs by the Princess Anandri. And Sir Lumrak marries, and the story says happily ever after, but she is a hardcore warrior, so who knows if it's always happy? Maybe it's just really intense. Nonetheless, um, you marry, have heirs, and eventually your heirs go on to serve the High Queen Kalia. But for that, and for now, is the end of night. So I hope you guys had a good time. So I summon the Sophia to finish up our game. But for now, we are Nerds with Dice. We have been this has been Night, the game that I wrote, which is available on a Drive-Thru RPG and on Indie Press Revolution. And if you are interested, you can always get in contact with me on X or at Mark Beren one. I'll eventually email you back, or you can check out my website at www.armedgaming.com. And for my two wonderful players, the incredible, the amazing Percival, please give us your outros here.
Hi guys, I have been Sir Lamorak, your ambitious but at the end a happy man, a happily married man who is perfectly fine running after his wife as she picks every fight in the land possible. But this is she is exactly who he has ever wanted ever in his life. I am Percival. You can find me on Twitter at Dr. underscore Wyborn, on Blue Sky at Ombre Lesbian Night, and you will be finding me on Nerds with Dice in 2 weeks for season 2 of Iron Sworn, where I am playing a knight as well, but a very fallen one, and this one is out for a lot more vengeance and is pretty pissed off. So this is going to be real fun. It's going to be really fun. Really looking forward to it. And other things that I have coming up, they will be on Twitter and on Blue Sky whenever stuff comes up. I really hope I get to do more of this fun stuff. This was amazing. Thank you so much, Mark.
Uh, yeah, no, this was a blast. I I'm Casper DMB Ghost or Danby Ghost. If you are trying to find me on the internet, literally anywhere. I have been playing Sir Tiernan, whose name I could not pronounce for a good 10-15 minutes. Don't know why. But yeah, he married a princess. He saved the princess queen. And
Mhm.
yeah, his buddy and him live in infamy. So rocking it. You can find me on Tabletop Titties on Tuesdays and Thursday. Oh, every other Tuesdays and Thursday. Every other Wednesday, I am on Neon Lights Roleplay. Um, Fridays, I was here, but I will be on. Oh wait, I'm trying to find it because I'm on a new place. Whatever. If you follow me, and that'll show you my schedule. Because I'm doing a lot of things. I'm always doing stuff like writing and whatever. But yeah, this was a blast. Thank you so much, Mark, for having us. This is too much fun.
No worries. You guys are the absolute coolest players. I really appreciate all of the effort that you guys have put in. And I think that's it. See you later, folks. All right. So